Hi everyone, welcome to Conversations with Miss T, and that is me. I had a conversation with Thato Lufuno. Thato and I went to UCT together. He is a former president of the Forest Hill House Committee, which I was also a part of. He's an entrepreneur, a rural development activist. He is actually one of the people that played a huge role in the person that I've become today. So shout out to you, Thato, for doing such an amazing job. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoy this. Okay, cool. That's fine. Yeah. As long as you're comfortable. Ultimately, I just need you to be comfortable.
I wish I was in a fancy place like you are.
Don't even worry about that. That's the least of my worries.
Yes.
What you have to say is the best of my worries. Can you say that the best of my worries? Is that a thing?
The best of my... No, least of my worries.
No, but it's the least of your worries, so there should be the best of your worries, right?
It's kind of poetic.
Well,
it's kind of poetic.
I'm an author now, so I write what I like. Like literally, I just write what I like.
Yeah, so it works. It sounds beautiful, though.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to play it.
Yeah, the best of my worries. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you are at a workshop doing what?
I'm not at work. I actually came here for this because I don't trust the signal in at home.
Okay.
So I tried the signal here. That's why I actually traveled here. Came to the office at the college. That's why I am now.
What do you do at the college?
The college.
Are you studying?
No, I'm not studying. So what's going on is CEDA, which is a small enterprise development agency of South Africa. What they do is they're setting up sort of incubation hubs across the country. So usually they partner with probably an NGO or any institution that wants to set up such an initiative. So the college has such a partnership with CEDA, where they have business incubation. These ones are terms, the Center for Entrepreneurship and Rapid Incubation.
You have to speak a little bit louder. I cannot hear you. Unless, is there a microphone on the headsets and you just bring it closer?
No, it's fine. I'll speak loudly.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yes. So what I was saying is CEDA is setting up different incubation hubs across the country, across South Africa. They either partner with the government institution or an institution of higher learning and education, or it's either an NGO, it's whatever organization that actually approaches them and wishes to establish an entrepreneurship hub or an incubation that actually develops SMMEs across whatever region or community that they're based in. So one of the people that actually partners with them is actually TVET colleges, which are technical vocational education institutions, which they partner with CEDA and establish such SMME hubs, which are called Center for Entrepreneurship and Rapid Incubation, which are tasked with general SMME development in their different regions. So this one is based at Venda TVET College, which is a college which is based at the northern parts of South Africa, which is Venda region.
Did you just say the Venda region?
Yeah, it's Venda. Partly Venda. There's also Tsonga-speaking areas in the region, such as Malamulele, the Colin Chabane municipality. But it's at the northern part of the country, which is in Limpopo province. So we mainly service that. So I'm here as a business development officer of the incubation hub. So I interact with a lot of SMMEs from different sectors, assisting them with whatever issue they need assistance with, and also linking them to market, linking them to funding, business advisory, training, linking them to partners, linking them to suppliers, customers. So it's a general kind of service that we offer because we're dealing with different sectors. It's a multi-sector incubation hub. But because we are mainly in a rural area, most of the people that you're going to be dealing with are farmers, also clothing manufacturers, restaurants, media people, what else? Car washes, furniture manufacturers and retailers. Those are the kind of SMMEs that I usually interact with. The tech side of things is still coming up. because of the setting or the area that it is, because a lot of people are not really exposed to technologies and innovation. But we're working a lot with that. So that's mainly what we do, man. But apart from that, we also are the innovation and commercialization hub for the college. So what the college is trying to do is sort of establish a lot of commercial institutions and projects. One of the projects or two projects that actually on top of my head is a sewing plant. So because we have clothing, a sewing plant, like a clothing production plant, yes. Because we do have a studying discipline of clothing production, where students come in and learn how to produce clothing, sewing, and all those textile stuff. So the idea is when those students are done, they'll probably need in-service training to get their diplomas. So we literally set up a sewing plant last year, but this was like in response to the COVID-19 pandemic for the college to produce masks, the one that people wear. Then later on, I think the principal decided actually this can actually be something more than what we think it is. So when students are done with their studies, they actually go to the intern at a sewing plant with the stipend. So we produce different clothing material. We're no longer only relying on producing masks now. We are even producing worksuits, t-shirts.
Okay.
Tablecloth. So whatever textile or clothing material the college wants now, we no longer now procure from outside. We procure the material the students produce.
Yeah.
In that way, we are minimizing costs. Two, we're providing training to the learners. We're providing experience to the learners. Learners also have a place to do in-service training, which is a requirement for them to obtain their diplomas.
Yeah.
Then once it gets to a certain stage, now can then commercialize and actually service. It becomes actually a trading vehicle for the college.
Is that a skill that's like kind of looked down upon? Because I don't know that many people that would actually be interested in being trained to be, tailors.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Okay.
It's a big deal. Also looking at where the country is going now. I don't know whether I should show the country, but culturally, a lot of people are starting to embrace traditional clothing again.
Yeah.
If you check your weddings, and also celebrities are wearing a lot of locally produced stuff now.
Brands, yeah.
So I think that's when more people start. The idea to actually produce brands and commercial and retail clothing comes at a later stage when people now start envisioning that this can actually be bigger than what they were thinking. So there's actually high demand for such a skill. A lot of people are interested in doing it.
Okay.
People are starting to see now the commercial side of everything, because before in this region, it was usually old people that were just sewing.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
People never thought that they can actually produce proper clothes like t-shirts and stuff. Never thought that can actually get to that level. But it's starting to, a lot of brands are now being produced now locally. Like there's a brand called Made in Venda that people are wearing now.
No. It's just, I laugh because you're one of those people who are pro Limpopo. And I like that you guys are embracing that, that you're trying to grow the economy in Limpopo. Because I think that, Limpopo has a lot to offer.
Yeah, but for me, it's not necessarily about Limpopo, though. I'm just pro-rural. Just that I'm from this side. So usually the perspective of how we can actually achieve such a development, or how we can bring development in such a region, is based on the fact that I grew up here. So I wouldn't really have an idea of how to develop Katlehong or the
Katlehong. That's a good point. Yeah.
Soweto. Yeah. Soweto, I might have an idea because part of my life is from there. But yeah, it's because I understand this side better. But so I'm pro-rural. And also, just looking at the resources, I don't think I would have the resources to actually, cover the whole country as yet. So I'm actually pro-rural. I believe that if we decentralize development, a lot of things will be solved quicker. Not only economical, also societal problems, because now people don't have to relocate to other regions to go look for work.
Yeah,
it's becoming better now, but I mean, our mothers grew up without our mothers and fathers grew up without their parents because they had to relocate to Johannesburg and all that. That created a lot of problems.
It did, yeah, it did.
Yeah. So growing up, I grew up as a dreamer and I realized a lot of things I would have achieved had I been born maybe in Gauteng or Johannesburg or Pretoria, because everything was right there. At some point, I wanted to be an actor, but
you did? You wanted to be an actor?
I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be everything. I was that kid that believes I can do everything. But I even actually joined a casting agency. But whenever they call me for casting, I have to travel to Johannesburg. It's like 5 hours, you know.
Yeah.
My mom has to borrow money from neighbors to catch a taxi, go there, do an audition, come back. But if I was in Johannesburg, it should have been a better conversation, less money needed. Would have been a lot of also centers where my skills would have been developed. I don't regret not being an actor, but that's a phase. But I'm just thinking, had it been a passion, there would have been a vehicle for me or platforms for me to actually grow in that manner. So it's the same thing with soccer, man. I grew up with a lot of talented soccer stars. Like I even watch PSL soccer stars, and they don't even match what I grew up watching. Some of them, not all of them.
Yeah, of course.
But there was no vehicle for that. Like a lot of them now ended up in shebeens. Some of them are just probably bricklayers or working manual jobs. Talented people. So those are the things that I grew up in. Literally at a young age, I told myself I need to fix this. Yeah. Anyway, I was still explaining why I'm here.
Huh? What?
I was still explaining why I'm here. I don't know how we got to this part. I was explaining why I'm in this building.
Yeah, you see, I don't even understand why you were so nervous about this, because I just knew that you could do it, and you're doing it. So you're doing great. Now, have you had to simplify your life a lot to fit into the rural lifestyle?
No, there was no need. There was no need because I think that's literally me. I'm very simple. I'm very simple. I don't live up to standards, or I don't try fit into what. I don't know if I'm answering your question correctly. I'm naturally, my life fits in more with the rural areas.
Okay.
I actually was struggling a bit in urban areas, Cape Town, and that's why I even left Cape Town just after studies. It was a bit too much for me and too bougie for me to survive.
Too bougie.
Yeah. What you wear matters, how you pronounce words matters, what you drive matters, who your father is, your mother is matters. So it wasn't really the kind of environment that I actually enjoy. It's quite nice, I won't lie. Like the life is nice, but I think my life and my personality is more accustomed to the rural area. So there was no need for me to adjust it. So when I decided to move back home, it was an easy ride. Because even when I was in Johannesburg, every month I used to come back home because I knew that coming back home for about a weekend will fuel me up. This is where my mindset and my soul is.
Yeah. Because I remember
we went to training.
The last time I saw you, we met in Midrand. I think that was about 4 years ago. Yeah, so I was about to ask you to compare your life wherever you were coming from at that time and to where you are now. Like, just when you wake up in the morning where you were in Joburg, like, just take me through the day and then take me through the day in the rural areas where you are.
I'm not sure if I can really compare them though. It's just that I was in Joburg then and I had to be in Joburg then.
Okay.
I'm in Limpopo now, Thoyando Venda now, because now I have to be here. If you remember correctly, December 2014, we went to training, remember? The teaching training.
Yeah, teachers say,
The teaching training, yeah. Because then I believe that I'm ready to go to Limpopo to be a teacher and actually now be closer to where my vision and what I want to achieve is. Right. But at the same time, a telco company was really after me for them to come work for them. Even when we were at Monash, they kept calling to come. Were we even willing to fetch you during lunch breaks to do all those tests? I was like, nah, I'm going to be a teacher. But a week before I had to go start the teaching program, they called again. For some reason, I decided, okay, let me give this a try and forget about teaching. I don't regret that. I had to do that. And I think that was the best thing that I did then. Because I also see now with some of my friends, they being in a professional space or a corporate space, you learn a lot. Especially for someone who wants to go into entrepreneurship. You learn a lot as to literally the administration, the way of running a company, everything from HR, from I don't know, marketing. You literally learn a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't think everything that I would have learned there, I would have learned had I went straight to teaching or to a public sector.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and after the few years that I think, okay, fine, I think I've gotten whatever I wanted. Let me move back home. My mind was there, and now things are better. The difference now there is like there's so many opportunities and so many things that you can actually pick and actually do. Whereas this side, there are very few opportunities. Job-wise, you can either work for a municipality or a government department, or be a teacher, a police, a nurse, a doctor.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. Yeah.
That's that. Yeah, that's that. Although some small law firms are starting to pick up, that's that. And there's
And I'm guessing the cost of living is also pretty reasonable, right?
Pretty reasonable. I spent about 3 years really unemployed since I came back home. Yeah? I was probably making a quarter of what I was making in Johannesburg, but I didn't feel it that much, because compared to being in Johannesburg, the cost of living is simple, just nothing. There's a lot to spend though, because Thohoyandou has developed quite immensely. But there isn't a need for you to have that much of money. You get me? As compared to in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
The thing that is not here compared to Johannesburg, there isn't. You need to travel to Johannesburg more often for you to remain hungry. Because here you might become reluctant, complacent. You feel
complacent. Yeah.
Unless you're not really up there. So that's one thing that is not there, and also conversations are not there. People are always speaking about just small straight talk. It's never about politics. It's never about the new gadget. It's never about the new company. It's never about stock change. It's never about who's being upvoted by who. It's never about all these big things about now Facebook changing its name up. No one is speaking about it.
Wait, what? Facebook is changing its name?
Yes, I think it's rebranding.
To what?
I don't know. I think it's called Meta.
Wow, I didn't know that. Oh, wow. See, I need to have these conversations as well.
But it's a matter of zero, nothing. There's just people are just leaving. People are content with what they have. But it's changing though. It's going to change because entrepreneurially, a lot of people are going to Johannesburg. They're literally coming back to reinvest. So it's growing, and a lot of things will change. Also, manufacturing-wise, a lot of things will change. Industrially, a lot of things will change because private citizens are literally coming back to reinvest and bring back whatever they're seeing in the bigger cities and reinvesting in. Which is why the college is also playing a big role in trying to reindustrialize the area.
Do you think that in the rural areas people are more family oriented compared to the city?
No, I think it's the same. Both are, but it's different. It's different. Family oriented, I think both of them are, but I think people in the cities are better at it.
How so?
It's very rare that you find the rural area parent telling their kid they love them. I'm trying to say, or you find a parent having lunch with their kid, taking or going to the soccer field to go watch their kid play, or visiting a school to engage with the teacher. That's more what you find in the urban areas. But I think what you're trying to get to is in the rural areas, people are more connected than they are in the cities.
I guess so.
I think, because I'm friends with everyone in my should I say extension or block, I don't know what to use. People come to my house whenever they feel like coming. I can go to their house whenever I feel like going. I can go literally go to the kitchen and do whatever I want to do in my neighbors' places and all that. So people are more closer to each other. If I have a funeral or if I have a birthday party, whatever it is, the whole street will come and be involved in the cooking, the cleaning, and all that.
Yeah, that's nice. I miss that.
Yeah. If I don't have a tomato or an onion or whatever ingredient that I want to cook with, I can actually go
next
to the other
door.
house. I didn't pay my TV cable, my DSTV. I can easily walk to someone else's house and watch. So yeah, I think those are the differences.
Yeah.
But family-wise, I'm not sure though. Family-wise, no.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah, no, you just made me aware of something because I always assumed that because people are connected, that automatically means that they're family oriented, you know, and they're doing great at this parenting thing. But it's not always the case, I guess. Have you always had leadership positions in high school? Have you always been a leader and stuff? Because when we were in the house committee in Forest Hill, New City, you were just like very good at what you were doing. It came so natural to you. And I'm thinking to myself now as well, if I had to be in the same organization as you and you were the president of that organization, I would be so comfortable with that.
Oh, thanks though. Thanks for the compliment. I always say like everything, like the self-drive was created by my mom. Like I said, at an early age, I was being forced to be involved in stuff. Literally every competition, literally every extramural activity, I was being forced to do it. So it became part of me. I got used to it. At a certain 10 years, prefect, whatever, then wherever I go, people just give me the space or the power to actually control or lead. Then I'll also take initiative to organize stuff, events, university, in high school and primary school, soccer, then I'll be make the captain. So I don't know. People always put me in those positions. I never actually proactively fought for them. It's only when I go to varsity. No, I think towards varsity when I still in high school, then I realized this is actually something I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Because I think in grade 10, 14 or 15 actually, I was elected into the African National Congress Youth League branch in my area. So I think that's when I realized, okay, this actually is serious than I thought. For me, it was a matter of just doing this.
Yeah.
Because there was more structured, there's a secretariat, chairperson, the deputy chairperson, there's processes involved.
And how is wait, pause, stop. We're not going to pretend like you just did not say that. How was that experience? And what kind of discussions did you guys have?
So the nice things about it is then, I don't know now, but then the youth league, like the African National Congress Youth League, was like vibrant.
Yes. Was Julius Malema still the president of the youth league?
He was the president then. He was the president. Then was it the president already when I joined? I can't remember. I think Balula was still president then when I joined.
Okay.
But, towards the end of my school, which I was then in leadership, Malema was the president then. It was more vibrant. You had more say in the community. So if there's a project, the youth league would ever say how employment must be done in this project, ensure that the young people are employed in whatever road construction. So all these things, it was more proactive. And there was more life, and a lot of youth which used to gather around. So even if a lot was not being done or a lot of proactive conversations were not being held during meetings, but a lot of youth were being kept out of the streets, and the mindset to be proactive and take responsibility of the community was being instilled in us. That's from a general, like a group kind of perspective. And being part of the committee, that's when now I literally thought, actually, this thing of leadership is actually can be a career or can be sort of something that I should take serious, and I should actually take note of what I need to learn. Because before I was just doing it.
Yeah.
But now you ask yourself, okay, what are minutes? How do you actually draft minutes? How do you draft an agenda? Well, so if the chairperson is not around, who actually chairs the meeting? Or the secretary and the chairperson, what is the difference? The treasurer, how do they actually, how do you raise funds? How do you manage funds? How do you ensure that if you have 150 members of the branch, they remain engaged for the entire term that you're in? So now the issue of psychology, the issue of leadership, the issue of engaging with your members now comes into play. So all those questions they start being sparked in my mind. So when I go to varsity now, I'm in a place where there are tools, platforms, places where you can actually learn this thing on a formal level, on a more formal level. But they were just learning based on what the constitution says of the AMCS League. There's no training, nothing, Then when I go to varsity, I realize I want to do this. This is literally what I want to do, because this will inform whatever I do in life, whether I become a school principal, whether I become a business owner, whether I go work at a firm. Learning leadership is going to be the basic of what I do. So as when people were doing it for the CVs or whatever, for me, it was like an intention. I literally took everything seriously. I used to read books, watch videos, all those things, because it was literally serious for me.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing about your question is, when I go to the house committee, when we led together, that was now the practical phase of a lot of failures, or a lot of leadership failures before that.
I was going to get to that. Let's talk about your failures a lot later.
Yeah, so I had failed a lot before that. For example, I started to initiate sort of an NGO with friends. I was the leader. It didn't go well. I don't know. They were not responding the way I wanted them to respond, or they were not being proactive the way I wanted them to be proactive. But then I was asking myself why I couldn't make them be that, because they were smart people. They wanted to do this. So now, how do you cascade your vision to the rest of the team members? Those questions I started asking myself. The year before, I was leading the EDU student organization. So if you remember, UCT had academic programs, extended academic programs.
I remember.
So the one in the commerce faculty was called EDU. So they also had their own mini SRC under that academic programs. So I led that. It was a group of 8. I was the only guy with 7 females.
Oh.
So 1, there's a gender issue. 2, I'm leading, what is the right word for it? I'm a rural kid leading about 7 women that went to proper schools, better English, better understanding of a lot of things, so there's a middle issue of confidence. Now your English is not really that proper. How do you then take these 7 people that are smart and intelligent and know better than you, and actually make sure that all their expertise and their knowledge is put to better use for the greater good of the group? How do you manage emotions? How do you communicate effectively? How do you make sure that everyone takes responsibility of the committee? So all those things I'm learning, but I'm failing a lot, and I'm not achieving the way I want to achieve. At the same time...
What do you mean you were failing? How did you fail in that regard? How did you fail?
There were a lot of conflicts. There were a lot of conflicts. And when I look back at it, a lot of conflicts was also my leadership had to do with it, because there was a lack of direction. I was not that good with delegation. It was more of a one-man show than it should have been an 8-man show or more, because now you can set up even subcommittees and also include management to everything. What else? Yeah, the structure was not really that great. There was poor planning. We were not outgoing in terms of engaging partners, funders, and all those things. So when I go to that phase in 2014, there were a lot of failures that were done previous leadership positions. I literally had to sit down and ask myself, okay, you've learned so much. This is you need to prove yourself this year.
Yeah.
So if you check, after we elected, I think I spent about a week not communicating with everyone. I was trying to figure out how we're going to do everything. Then I had to come up with a plan. Everything was pre-planned. It didn't come necessarily naturally. The personality was natural, because I'm a bubbly person. But everything else, it was planned. Ask myself, how do you achieve that? How do you achieve that? Stealing from the past leadership positions I've been, stealing from watching videos, even watching series. I used to learn from management stuff there.
Yeah.
Working at a dining hall as the dining hall door coordinator. So I'm stealing from all these things that I've been involved in. Say, this year is where you have to prove that all these things that you're learning and you actually
Yeah,
learn something.
because I remember there was a point you actually had to sit me down because I was a do-it-all. I wanted to do everything by myself, right? And then you had to sit me down and you said to me, listen, you cannot operate this way. There's a reason why we're a team and you need to learn how to delegate. And you know, that conversation that we had that time, and you know, just how understanding and how forthright but still gentle you were with me, kind of you know, it stayed with me and I carried that with me. Yeah, to this day, which I'm still not very good at delegating. I'm still very good at, like, you know, just wanting to do things the way that I
I'm
want to
still
do
not brilliant too.
them.
I'm still not brilliant too.
Yeah. But I think the way that you approached that conversation actually helped us, I don't know, stay close. It helped me respect you as a person because you were very understanding. And that's why to this day, I still look up to you, like, as a leader. That's why I'm just like, I have so much confidence in whatever you lead, like, I would follow, you know.
Thanks a lot. I think I was blessed with a great team, man. Like you, all of you guys were brilliant.
Oh my goodness, we had a wonderful time.
Yeah, I always make a joke to people that when I was speaking to back, and how do you ensure that everyone's skill and knowledge is being used for the greater good? Like everyone contributes, everyone is at their maximum in a team. I always make an example that the day we sat down and planned the event that was meant to replace the former, right? We even had, I think Lauren even brought a projector to present. And we spent about 30 minutes or an hour discussing a marquee. And I was chairing the meeting. And I had no idea what a marquee is.
Me neither.
And I was literally chairing the meeting and facilitating the meeting, and everything was going so smoothly. But I had no idea what a marquee is during that process. So it's going back to what I'm trying to say is you need to create an environment where everyone in the team feels that whatever position I have is mine. I need to excel in it. Two, the colleagues in the team, and if I need to contribute also to their success, and I need to create room for them to also contribute to my success. You need to make sure everyone feels confident and takes ownership of the team, not only for their roles of their team. So even if someone is just an additional member, they also need to take ownership of the chairman's role. If there's something not being done right by the chairman, the chairperson, the secretary, they need to say something about it. They need to assist for that to actually happen. So what I did initially for that environment to happen, the first meeting we had, before even met, I had a problem with one person in the team. There's one person that I wasn't sure about having in my team. And ironically, was Wangani.
But you guys became best friends.
That was one person that I wasn't sure about in the team. I was like, okay, I'm the chairperson. He's the deputy. But judging from all the engagements that we have in the dining hall where we're eating, the loudest one. And Unengan. And I think this guy is going to overpower me and I'll have a problem with him. I don't think I'm strong enough to actually to be able to lead him. I think it would have been the other way around, where he becomes the chairperson and I become the deputy. That was going through my mind. But I realized something that we don't need to, we are two different people in terms of personalities. We can coexist and make a great team. The first thing I did was to invite him out to Pigs and Swizzles.
Smart move.
So it was after school, we walked to Pigs and Swizzles. Swizzle, how do you pronounce that name? I don't remember. We went for a game of pool. We both had a court of hunters, I think. Because we're still not heavy drinkers. So I think we're still in the Cyrus phase. So we did have a drink or two together. We spoke nothing about anything, like nothing serious. We were just there to play pool. But I knew what I was doing. I wanted to be comfortable with him. On our way back, we were both a bit tipsy. And that's when ideas started flowing about this is what we're going to do together.
Oh, man.
All the way from Rondebosch to to Forest Hill, we were speaking about this is what we're going to do this year. So even before I even spoke to you guys, I need to make sure that the person I'm going to lead with, we're on the same level and we understand each other. That's why even if you checked, this was not announced, but there were half of the team engaged more with me and half the team engaged more with him. But people didn't realize that. There were certain spaces.
I think I related more with you in the beginning, and then towards the end, I just loved Ubongani and his personality and how you guys clicked together. Continue.
But by design, anything that is to do with fun was shifted to Ubongani.
Yeah.
And any serious work was shifted to me. That was by design, but we didn't actually announce it and make it formal. So that you don't feel that to me. We engage, you and I engage a lot on the work, but the plan was for you to engage more with Bongani to work stuff, right? Because he's the more fun guy. He's the guy that will get into an elevator and there's a student we don't know, we've never seen before, and he will speak with that student for 10 seconds, and the event that we want to have the following day, that person will be there because Bongani told them to be there. Yeah. So you work better and realize I'm more of the formal guy, serious guy. So I'll make sure the team is intact. Around the team, everything is done professionally. You will make sure the team is actually fun. Everything is done in a fun way. If you check also with the house committees, when we presented the reports, I'll present with all the boring stuff. Then Wangana will come in and present about the fun stuff, the events.
And you were okay with that?
I actually wanted to be that way. So you need to play you need to take advantage of everyone's strength in the team. So even if someone is not, it's not someone. So for example, what example can I make with facility stuff? And I was involved with facility stuff, but I used to rope in a lot of Pila and Wongani into the mix because they are more interested or qualified or experienced in handy stuff.
Yeah.
Checked. So you need to play with everyone's strength. So when Wongani presents, that was by design. You sit down with Wongani, this is the report. I'm going to speak to this level. I'll be down with this to this level. You want to come from here and go to there. As long as the team is well represented.
You see, I'm even so stunned that you were so strategic about this, that you made sure that your visions were aligned before you guys came to us and started leading us together. That is brilliant. That's genius.
Then the first thing with you guys was, okay, fine. We have a group of, how many were we? 12, right?
I think so, yeah. The disciples.
We have a group of 12 people. And from that 12 people, let me see. Okay, Lauren,
we lost one, right? We lost Sibu because she left.
Yeah, it became 11, yes. I actually saw someone that resembles her yesterday in Toyongo. I was stunned, but it wasn't here.
I will tell you this.
We had about, it was 11, yes, you're right. 11 because we lost. Well, you can talk.
Oh yeah, sorry, your network's acting up, or is it mine? Oh no, I just wanted to say, like, even before my event, because I was the cultural rep, right? Before my event came, before my event was hosted, I felt like I was part of every event that was being hosted, and everybody, like, their strengths were just like it just flew into I don't know, it was just so beautiful. And to this day, I think our team is still the best team that ever was in Forest Hill. And also with me, like, sentimentally, like, that's the best team that I've ever been involved in. And to find out today that you were pretty strategic about it, I'm just like, smart.
That's why we checked the first meeting we had. We didn't speak about anything. We met and played 30 seconds. People.
Yeah, I remember.
That was the design, because I'm thinking I'm going to lead a group of people. Okay, Palisa, I know her from Menton 10 class with what was the lecturer again?
I forgot.
The maths lecturer. I forgot his name. Yeah, the guy that was the same pens every. But
no, don't do that.
So it was you that have engaged with from press, from the class. Then we have Wangani that have only engaged at the dining hall table. Lauren, Pila, the same, the dining hall table. Una, I just know her from the commerce classes. We only took a walk once from restaurant. So a lot of people I don't have like personal relationships with. So the best thing to do now is to create a platform where everyone meets and they're comfortable with each other. And the best way is to have a game night. So we did that. I think that was the first thing we did. I don't remember what else we did, which was a bit light. Then I realized actually everyone is comfortable with each other. Then when the games are being played, you start picking out, okay, who's going to be the problem?
Personalities,
who's going to be the leader, who's going to be what? Yeah, personalities, pick out people's strengths. You also pick out, during 30 seconds, you can pick up what people are interested in. So I'm the political guy, so I'll answer a lot of things about my airline stuff during 30 seconds. The music part, then you realize who's who in the team. I remember one thing I picked out in the team. I realized there are two people that I'm going to use to ensure that this team is intact and this team feels like a family.
Cool.
That's why I picked up after 30 seconds.
Tell me.
It was two or three, somewhere there. Okay, Bongani, obviously, because already I decided from the chairperson's desk, he's going to be that guy that is closer to the team personally. Then with the additional members, I knew two people. I realized two people. And one person shocked me because I thought they were like Neddy. That's the idea I had before we started working together. That is Lidunda.
Yeah.
This is the key to ensuring the team is intact because he was a funny guy. He was comfortable with everyone.
I still, to this day, I still see him as the father of our house committee.
So I picked that out in 30 seconds. Then that's why a lot of things, I was given a lot of tasks initially because I knew he's good with everyone. I realized that in the first day, he's good with everyone. So you put him on the spotlight. So you make sure that he's the one that brings everyone together. You find a way to involve him in those processes that it brings everyone together. Now, when everyone is now motivated, and then there's a day we met again. I think the same day we started, but I don't know whether the same day or we met again. Then we just asked everyone, what do you want to do this year? Then ideas started flowing, We wrote everything down. Then we asked the whole rest. Now, what I was doing with you now, I'm starting to do with the residents. What do you want to see being done in this race? Now, people start taking ownership now.
Yeah.
Because they're getting involved in planning. Oh, okay. Now this race, these people are working, whatever. Now, people tell us what they want to do. Now they have expectations. Now we also tell them, since you voted, since you're involved in the planning phase, you also need to get involved in making sure.
I think that was one of the best things that we've ever done, to find out, first of all, what people's expectations were, and then see how we could meet those and actually serve them. That's what we did. We served them and also served ourselves. Yeah. Wow, so brilliant.
Then from there, you come up with a whole plan. Guys, this is what I want to do. And the good thing about everything, from my conversation with Bongani, from the conversation with the wardens, the conversations we have as a group, the feedback we were getting from the students, there was one thing in common. We were not here by choice. We were actually thrown here because it's like the death race coupled with Lisbeth. We want to be proud of staying here.
We were. We were.
So the thing was clear. In one word, the mission was to rebrand the rest. That was the mission. We took Forest Hill from the residents where September, October, around this time, there are emails flooding to the wardens and student affairs, people wanting to be allocated a different rest to Forest Hill. 12 months later, people are sending Pukina and
they want to be in Forest Hill.
So because we had rebranded the rest, so the good thing again is that a lot of people understood the demographics of the rest. And one of the things we did that was the cultural things that we did. You did perfectly, the posters, the regular.
That's when I realized that I'm pretty creative, not like artistic, but like very creative. Yeah.
So that was the thing, man. So you guys understood what needs to be done, what should be done to ensure that everyone feels welcome. One of the things that we did was very revolutionary, and we did almost an amazing decision was to cancel the former and did the marquee event. That is the best decision we took because we understood the demographics of the rest, that people don't actually afford the formal. Right? People don't want to go to a hotel. People want something else different. People have been to a formal in their first or second year. Let's do something simple, something cheap, something that everyone can be accommodated, So instead of accommodating 50 people, you can accommodate about 250 people, 300 people, even more from those that will be watching from the balcony. Then later on, you have about 1,000, 2,000 people at the event.
Wait, did we afford people that option to watch from the balcony?
Because remember, we had limited tickets at the event, about 200, I think 250. Those were the seats at the marquee event.
Yeah.
After the marquee event, everyone from rest was allowed to enter.
Oh yeah, I remember the after party. Yeah.
For the after party, we had about more than 1,000, I think close to 2,000 people at the after party. Our rest had around 800 people, so we had a lot of influx from other races, and that was probably the biggest rest party that year. I think we even overshadowed the foam party that Copano.
You're so competitive. Okay.
Yeah, we had to. That was a mission for that year. So we even won awards. Wangani won an award.
I remember we did. Yeah, I still have photos. And we met Max Price. Remember he came and shook our hands. I still have a picture that I took with him. Oh my goodness.
It was all about that, man. Rebranding everything, naming the sports room after Uncle Vinny, buying new equipment, making sure that everything that people want is there.
Yeah.
One project that I wish I'd done, but we didn't do, but the next leadership that came in, I think, was working on it. I don't know if they actually achieved or not. We had an issue with art students, if you remember quite well. They were not accommodated in terms of their studies. We even built a lab. There was even a lab that was built by the previous leadership that we had to launch that year.
Yeah.
But now we still have people that do music, the acting people. They didn't have a space to study practice. If you remember, the TV room was usually booked by the drama students for their rehearsals, but there was always clashes from those that want to watch Mubango and Generation. Because they want to study student exams, but another student wants to come and watch Generations to refresh. So that's one thing that I wish we achieved, but I think the next leadership worked on that. But we tried to facilitate the drama students for them to have a space. Then we had the music people that had to get a room to, because for us to find ourselves studying, then some guys just jamming their saxophone, they are studying, but other people will be complaining.
Yeah.
I don't know if Marimaro and Paswana, because he led after me, I don't know if they achieved that project to actually build a music room where music students can actually go to a studio and practice their instruments.
Yeah. I think
we couldn't do it. Yeah.
I think for me, like our proudest moment was when we got like a booth for the security guards. Like I was like, I'm in a team of people that was so considerate that they would even think of the security guard that I usually, just like sidelined. And so when we got that for them, I was just like, you know what, we've done the most. Yeah, that was brilliant.
If you remember, the first challenge we had when we got there was security. It was a big issue when we got there. Even before we started with their plan, whatever, security, I don't know what happened, but there was a security problem. There was a huge security problem of theft, student cards entering. Because first it was like a Pumangana kind of situation. People who come in as they wish, go out as they wish. And we were coming in to change that. And there was a huge problem. I think we even had a meeting, if not 2 meetings, with the students to discuss security and how we can implement it. That's where the booth issue came in. And yes, man, I think the wardens also played a huge role. I don't even remember where we got that booth for it to be used. I don't remember how we got that booth. But the wardens were also hands-on, and they ensured that whatever we wanted was brought in. But again, it was not about me. I probably knew, because I'd learned and failed so many times on how to actually facilitate the processes. But it wasn't because of my brilliance. I was just also blessed with brilliance.
Yeah.
Smart, very responsive. They took ownership of the thing. I wanted to comment on something you said earlier. I think out of all the members that I had, you were the most, how do I coin this? You were also going through a process of finding yourself.
Yeah.
And that made it a bit challenging for me to actually guide you and actually help you realize your strengths. For the first half of the term, I was failing and I couldn't like get the best of you. And I knew from the energy and how committed you are to everything and how excited you get about literally every idea. The smallest idea, you just started jumping, you start talking. Now I'm chairing the meeting, I can't even tell you to stop talking. All that, like you get excited, but I couldn't help you realize your strength. So again, the project that you're saying was the best for you was also a relief for me. Because although it took time for me to help you realize what you're good at, I remember, I think the conversation happened right before the cultural event was supposed to come into place. When we started doing the series of cultural stuff. For me, it was a relief. Oh, finally. She's the last person that I wanted to help reach greatness. I've actually made it now. You know, I don't remember if it was strategic or not with you, but we're getting to a level now where we became friends. I can say whatever I want to say to you. And we had a couple of fights before. So now I had also learned how to engage with you. So I had a better understanding of you. I had a better understanding of what you are, what ticks you, what makes you tick. So then the conversation was easier to hold. Whereas this conversation, if it was meant to happen before, I would have failed at it. Because actually, I failed at having conversations with you numerous times. The day you went out and never came to the meeting in the morning, you know, it is one of those things that you need to have. I had to learn how to handle those conversations with each of you. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you're done writing exams. You have to go out. I'm trying to say, you have to go out. You have to, like, I couldn't stop from going out. You have to go out. Come on, I can't expect a student to literally forget about their whole social life and would come to a meeting. But the way I handled that conversation in the beginning of the term was not how I should have handled it.
What did we argue about? I don't remember us arguing.
You and Sibu, is it Sibu? What's the name again? The one that left.
Yeah.
That left.
Yeah.
Yes. You went out. I think there was a big Groove Africa party. I don't know if it was Groove Africa or something. You went out. It was a huge party. And we were supposed to have a plenary session or planning meeting in the morning. You didn't pitch in the morning. And we knew you went out. Now, during the meeting, we're in the boardroom. We see you walking up and down, both of you. Just like, these folks don't even remember. They don't know they have a meeting. Like, let it be. Then you came in, everyone was furious because they actually sacrificed. You guys didn't. They sacrificed whatever they were sacrificing to be here. Some of them should have left home because they were done exams.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But the way I handle that conversation is something that even today I still struggle with. I need to learn to remain calm, whatever situation. Because I think I shouted at you. I think we even attacked you during the meeting. That's not, I think that actually delayed that conversation. I was one of the events I blame in delaying you to actually feel comfortable with the team. Because the team was moving, but you were there, but not really there. Because I think that conversation spoiled everything for you. That's just my perspective, that it spoiled everything for you. When now you didn't feel comfortable with the team 100%. Part of you felt like you were not adequate enough to be part of this team. That's the feeling I got. Then we didn't connect quite quickly. So the conversation I wish we had it earlier, and I wish I handled it that way earlier.
You see, I'm getting very emotional because like what you unleashed in me is something that still carries on right now. Because soon after we had that conversation, we all had to graduate and leave, right? And then I went on to do like really, really amazing things. And you know that as well. And I think it was because, first of all, I was under your leadership, and it was also because of that conversation that you had with me. And for me to hear you say that you were so patient with me, that you did not give up, that you even, lowered yourself, because you didn't have to, but you did, to lower yourself that much to actually care about me, to realize that I was capable, so.
Thank you. I'm glad I made impact because if you ask me what I really enjoy, like what I really enjoy in whatever I'm doing, it's all about whether the next person will grow from it. That's literally my I think that's my life purpose.
Yeah. And here's something else that you actually that I picked up from you. We were traveling from Cape Town, I think, to Joburg, and we decided to take the same bus. I don't know if it was just the two of us, or we had a third. I think we had a third person there in the bus. We were going to Joburg, and in the bus you were reading I Write What I Like by Steve Biko. But I noticed you do something, you were actually taking notes. And it had never occurred to me that I should read a book and take notes. And so a few years later, I went and I got that same book and I wrote a lot of notes in that book. Because I watched you do that. And also, I said to another person that I was actually really struggling with the concept of Black consciousness. But I saw you do that and I was like, okay, so I guess this is the way to do it. And, and then I did it. And then I read a lot of books after that. So thank you for that.
Confession is I don't enjoy reading. I don't enjoy reading at all. So I think that it came from there. Okay, two reasons. One, I don't enjoy reading. So if I can read an article and ask me what did you take from it, I wouldn't be able to literally convey. Even now, if you ask me what the book is all about, I'm not really comfortable to actually convey. So taking notes was a way of, to remind myself that this is what the book is all about. This is what I need to learn. This is the points that Steve Biko was making, all those letters and articles that I was writing. The first and the second thing is going back to all those things was like those things were important for me. So when I read a book, for me, I was like, I'm reading a textbook. I need to learn of what I'm reading from it. So it was no matter of I'm reading it because it's in fashion to read a Black consciousness, Amanda kind of book. I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn what is being conveyed in the book. But yeah, I struggle with reading. That's why I prefer a lot of videos, documentaries, and I engage better in them.
And audiobooks help a lot, right?
Oh, sure. I should try them out.
Do that. I use Audible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should try that. Yeah, I should try that. Because reading alone, I struggle with it. I struggle. But I also realized digital books, okay, they were better for me. I read a couple of them digitally. They were working, but it's not really something that it's not like a hobby that I have.
Yeah.
That's why I lean towards more towards videos and documentaries and YouTube videos and movies to actually learn a lot of stuff. Yeah. But I'm glad, man, I made impact.
You did. You did.
That's literally what I was speaking to someone recently and asked me, what is it that you want to do? I'm like, I literally enjoy creating stars. I enjoy bringing hope in people. Like even when I say I'm doing rural development, it's not necessarily about someone getting shelter. It's not about someone, I don't know. It's not about having tar roads in a certain village. It's more about the people that are in there. Can I literally create a doctor in that village? Can I create the next president, the next minister, the next inventor from a certain village? That's literally where my passion is.